Hello, and welcome to the new episode of Meet the Author with New Degree Press. I'm your host, John Saunders. Meet the Author Live is from book publisher New Degree Press, and it's part of the Manuscripts Incorporated enterprise. This enterprise has now published books on over 6 continents and has almost 1,500 published authors. And last year ranked 293rd on the Inc. magazine 5,000 list. This is the fastest growing, fastest growing privately held companies in America. If you think you have a book in you, want to accelerate a movement or a project you've been working on for some time and want to have a book in the next 12 to 18 months, visit thecreator.institute and check it out. The next cohort starts right after Memorial Day this year, 2022. In just a couple of weeks, there are still spaces available. So Meet the Author is an opportunity to really get to learn everything there is to know about new authors that have come through this program and learn about this person behind the book, right? So many times authors are sort of this mystery. Well, not today here, my friends. We have Yogesh Soni here, a former Silicon Valley engineer turned book author, coach, and consultant. And we're here to talk about his new book that just launched today on Amazon. It is called Digital Belonging, Building Human-Centered Organizations. You can see the book cover in the upper right corner here. Super excited to have Yogesh on the show here today. Yogesh, great to see you. Welcome to Meet the Author Live.
Thank you so much, John, for having me on your show. I think I met you probably 7 or 8 months ago. And since then, I've been telling you that I would love to be on your show. It is such an honor to actually launch the book live on your show.
You're too kind, and you willed it to happen. Well done, buddy. Well done.
Thank you.
How does it feel to have digital belonging out there in the world and available wherever you buy books online today, May 16th, 2022?
It's unbelievable. I have done product launches for my employers before. In some ways, it's similar, but it is also so much different because I have put in so much like blood and sweat behind it. It's real.
Not that you didn't put blood and sweat into your many corporate.
I did.
You've
Right.
worked for some of the biggest companies in Silicon Valley. I'm sure you've put a little blood and sweat in those.
Yeah, but this feels different. So it's like my own baby.
Right.
Yeah.
What would you and what is it? What's the biggest difference between launching something that's entirely yours versus doing it for a big company?
I think whenever launching products for the big companies, there are so many resources available to you. And when you're launching a book, there I had to wear different hats. Not that there were not people supporting me on the line, but I had to do something very, very new, right? Like doing your own sales pitch to podcasts, doing your own marketing, social media marketing. So those are some of the things I would have never done, right? So usually I would only focus on building the product and not so much on launching the product. But here, really, I'm getting to experience everything. So it's different.
You get to wear all the hats. And how has that experience been for you so far?
I think I would have loved to have this experience 20 years ago because we don't really teach all these things in our schools, right? So it's so lovely. I think more and more kids should be learning these things, marketing their own stuff, build your own stuff and market it, sell it.
How would you compare and contrast all the product work you did in corporate America versus now having to product and market, do product development and market yourself now? What's been the biggest difference in your view? You mentioned budgets, but just in your own personal experience, what do you think you learned? You said they don't learn this in school. What did you learn through this journey?
A lot of patience. Yeah. So in the roles are divided, right? So if I am a product manager, I figure out what to build, why to build for the users, right? Then I hand it over to product development folks. So there's this communication that is happening, and the product development engineers, they build the product, and then marketer markets, and then sales guys sell the product, right? In here, I had to wear all these hats. So there's no way you can do all of this, you know, at once. So you have to plan very carefully. The book itself, writing the book it's like building the book for 1 year, right? Building the product for 1 year. And it is surprising how slow, how iterative this process is. Book evolved. Some few people asked me, did you uh, have the concept of the book in mind on day one, and then you started with the chapter summary, chapter outline, and then you started writing the book? I said, I didn't even know the book topic for the first 2 months and had already written like 10,000 words and had no clue what I was talking about, right? So the book sort of emerged from the writing. That was amazing. I had never expected it, right? So one of the biggest lessons that I learned during the process, and also you keep saying that is activity breeds activity. So I started writing the book, and then thanks to that, I met a few people, and those few people invited me. For example, one person invited me to a conference in Vegas, where I met even more people, much more knowledgeable than myself, and there I got few more ideas, and the book kept evolving, right? So go out there, be in the world, talk to people, build relationships. It's all about community. It just reinforced my belief in the power of community.
I really appreciate your story because one, you laid it out there for so many people that maybe are thinking about writing a book out there. I mean, you showed up having maybe an inkling of an idea, but really not a firm one. And yet through the process, through the coaching, through the learning, you not only developed your idea, but turned it into this incredible book. And you've already got one bit of support here. Varun Kapoor, congratulations on the official book launch. Very
Thank
nice.
you, Arun.
Thanks, Varun. That's incredible. And I love that, it's, I hate to use the analogy for a research paper, but it's kind of like the greatest research paper you ever wrote because it's entirely your own, right? No one said, "Hey, go write this," right? You were helped to develop what the idea was about, refine it, research it, and then went out on this journey of creating it and found this incredible amount of support around it. And I appreciate how you've always embraced this concept of, activity breeds and creates activity, right? And the more you go out and talk to people, the more you go out and tell your story, the more they say, "Oh, you need to talk to this person or read this book or watch this TED Talk or what have you." And you are a living embodiment of that example. Well done, buddy.
Thank you, John.
So, how would you say the book has really changed the trajectory of your circumstance?
Um,
That was really good timing on the ringtone there.
um, the trajectory is still changing. I would say. So as we speak, I'm peeling off the layers of my identity and building new identity. Um, so I identified myself as a techie and a product manager earlier, and now I'm still techie at heart. I love building technology products, but I'm more than that. I'm, let's say, a speaker, obviously a book author, a speaker, maybe even entrepreneur. Right? So I'm just talking to a bunch of folks, bringing new ideas to the world. Uh, so much different. I know earlier I was sort of confined into the constraints imposed by a corporate world, right? Because every company that you join has very limited set of uh, products that they're building, a limited set of customers. But here, I just get to define my own customers, my own products, right? So it's a bit different. I'm
It's
still
both
learning.
it's both amazing and terrifying all at the same time, isn't
Yes, yes, right. But
it?
the thing is that I have been terrified before in different ways. So no matter what you do, well, when you do something very new, very uncomfortable, you like fear is like one of the most intense emotions you will feel. But it's all right.
It can drive behavior, can't it?
Yes.
And if people want to learn more about Yogesh and the different things he's doing out there, I'm putting his website, yogeshksoni.com, up there, LinkedIn, easy man to find, and on Twitter as well. And his book, Digital Belonging, is available on Amazon today or wherever you buy books online, along with his podcast. Yogesh was recently on the Creator Community podcast, and his episode premiered this very morning, May the 16th. You can find that on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you consume podcasts out there. Yogesh, so what else do we need to make people aware of before we jump into the rapid fire questions in this segment of Meet the Author?
Very interesting, John. You didn't tell me that it's going to be a rapid fire, but yeah, I'm up for it. Um,
It's the best part.
yeah, so do visit my website. I'll keep posting new ideas on my website, www.yogeshkirsoni.com. And John, at some point, you are going to drop the Amazon link of the book, aren't you?
I put it in the chat.
All right, cool. So for the I would really appreciate, first of all, if you read the book and just tell me what you liked, what you didn't like, what resonated. The feedback is always welcome. I would love to have a conversation with you. For the first 5 people who post also an Amazon review, I'm giving away signed copies of my book.
And how do they get that?
Um, just take a screenshot of the Amazon review, send me a DM on LinkedIn or an email, hit me on Twitter, um, and then just share me your address and I'll ship it to you.
I love it. Book is available today on Amazon, and you're doing a special first month pricing. Is that right?
Yep, it's available only for 99 cents. And the idea is
The
the book
ebook.
actually has a mission. My mission is to elevate dignity for all human beings at their workplaces. And the only way I can do that is spread the word, spread the message, right? So that's why I'm running special pricing of 99 cents only for the ebook for the first 30 days. So
It's
please
hard.
do share with your friends.
I love it. Go out, get your copy, share it with a friend. Bring dignity to dignity, elevate dignity at the workplace. It's hard to believe in 2022 that this is, dare I say, a new concept and one that hasn't been, not enough thought has been given to it yet. Yogesh, why did you feel compelled to write a book about creating dignity and elevating dignity in the workplace?
It's I think it's one of the stories that I mentioned in the book. The reason is right from my childhood, I saw uh, people who are less well off, poor people, even from the lower strata of the society in India. Um, they were always almost dehumanized. They were not treated as humans,
Hmm.
um, and it's akin to stripping their human dignity away, right? And in this country, uh, we have the dignity of all humans as the fundamental right. And I have always been, as a child, very very sensitive to when someone's dignity is taken away. I do mention a story in my book. It's about a child. I saw a 6 or 7 year old child who was yelled at by my classmate. It was way back in college, and he was a child of a street vendor. And I was just having a snack at the street vendor, and one of my friends who was like 6 foot 2 inches tall, well built, he came from a gym, and he just yelled at the kid, and the kid was in tears, and his father couldn't do anything. Um, the kid must have been terrified, right? I couldn't do anything myself to help the kid, and that thought, that visual has remained with me. I don't know where the kid is right now, right? But hope someplace good. But I, when I came to America, I have seen similar behaviors. There are power differences, power struggles, of course, within corporate America as well. And even though we are all grown up, we're supposed to be all equal. I have seen behaviors that are very unprofessional and take an immense toll on mental well-being of those who are at the receiving end. So I think it is something that I couldn't watch anymore. So that's why I had to speak up.
You wanted to save that little young boy in India and so many others behind you, particularly in the corporate setting. A couple more comments I want to drop in here, and I think it'd be great to hear another story you have around this and how you saw it play out very much so inside corporate America at a particular meeting you went to. I think it was called a Ask Me Anything meeting, if I
Yeah.
recall correctly. But let's
Yeah.
grab a couple more comments we got in the chat here. Archana Decate. Love the concept. Activity breeds activity. Thank you very much, Archana. I hope I'm saying your name there right. And oh, look at that. You got your first pre-sale here. Carlo, get out and write a review, buddy. Signed copies still available.
Thank
Uh,
you, Carlo.
that is fantastic. So thanks for jumping in the chat there, everybody. Please continue to put your comments in there. And if you would, share where you're calling in from. It's always interesting to hear where people are joining us from, many times all over the world, which is awesome. So there was another story you had at an Ask Me Anything meeting that had a pretty significant impact. So you had this early sort of moment with the child being just verbally abused by a classmate in school back in India, and then you saw it again more recently in years. Can you share that story with the group and how it helped
Sure,
shape your thinking and what the results were of it were?
sure. So I was working in a Fortune 500 company, very good tech company. They have an amazing reputation. They pay well, and everything is fine, right? So I'm in Silicon Valley, and uh, the VP of our business unit called for an Ask Me Anything meeting, conference. So we are about 500 people in the org. And when you go to ask me anything meeting, what do you expect? Well, you can literally ask anything, right? Maybe we'll discuss a little bit more about the business. Not everyone knows what's going on. So they'll ask a few questions, right? So, yeah, we went to the meeting. I was sitting almost on the back bench of the conference rooms. I've always been a backbencher, and my friend was sitting quite close to me. Let's call him a naive, curious guy. So he lets out a question. So he asks, okay, for this particular product XYZ, we have not really seen any revenue growth in the past few years. It's well aligned with company's business strategy. Are we not investing enough? What is going on? Right? Seemingly harmless questions, very honest question. And then the VP, we saw a volcano. First the silence, and as you said, the silence before the storm. And the VP was furious. His nostrils were flaring. And he asked the guy, okay, so you think you are some kind of a big shot. Let's do something. Let me make you the owner of that initiative. We'll give you 6 months. We'll see how much revenue can you bring in. Would you bet your job on it? He said, right. And complete silence. And it's not just him who was terrified. Like I was terrified. There were a bunch of other folks, 500 people who were watching that were terrified, right? And after that meeting, it is something, you don't really feel safe. And as innovators, as product managers, our job was to bring out new ideas, right? Whenever we go into the meetings or brainstorm, just very different ideas bring together, right? Even if it is stupid idea, whatever. But I felt very constrained. I felt very claustrophobic to bring out new ideas, even like challenge, right? They have this concept of hippo, highest paid person's opinion, so you could never really challenge the boss's idea. And
Even at
as
an
a
Ask
result,
Me Anything meeting.
yeah, exactly. It was ask me anything meeting, and people were terrified after that. So that naive, curious guy quit. I would say even I quit after a few months, because when you're not able to do your job, that's what you're hired there for, right? Might as well do something else. Life is short. And I would say that as a result of that particular meeting, at least 10 people would have quit, because just 10 minutes, 5 minutes into the meeting. And to replace those 10 highly talented, skilled individuals, I think it costs $1 million in Silicon Valley. Just 5 minutes of meeting and $1 million. You can do the math, imagine the cost on corporate America with these kind of behaviors. And these are accomplished leaders.
Not to mention the lost productivity while they were replacing them, right? All of these things. It's so
Right.
just a significant cost from, just a few minutes of this person really losing their cool. And you used two interesting juxtaposed words there. Safety, which is the environment you hope to have, where people can thrive and feel like they can innovate and drive change, and terrified, which I think is how you described the people sitting in that room there that day. I mean, who wants to be terrified in their workplace, right? I mean, I couldn't even imagine. And as you said, like a dozen people left within some period of time on that happening. Unbelievable. Um, Thank you
And
for sharing that story.
tying it back to the kid there, right? So it is always about power differential. So the VP has power, and really the VP was treating the other employee as a kid and yelling at the kid, right? And no matter what you say, I keep seeing that, like, if we hire smart people so that they can tell us what to do, right, and not dictate them. But the reality is very different, and that's why I have to speak up.
Unbelievable. Another nice note in the chat here. Natraj, is this a friend of yours?
Yeah, thanks, Natraj. Good to see you. Hope to meet you soon here in the Valley.
Very nice. Very nice. So when you think about digital belonging, what would be a key lesson or message you'd hope readers take away from your book, given this environment you want to create that's not a terrifying environment, more of a safe environment? What's a key message or lesson you'd like listeners to take away, or readers?
First of all, I think both the readers and everyone has to realize that there's a tectonic shift that is happening on how organizations are running. It's a big disruption with the whole pandemic induced remote working, right? And there has never been a greater need to stick together, to be together for each other's sakes, each other's well-being. So companies and leaders will do well to not resort to gimmicks, to give some freebies to the employees, but rather, companies need a radical transformation, on how we work, why we work, the way we work, and we do that by thinking, focusing on the human needs of the employees, and then work backwards. Design your organization, design your principles, values, and behaviors and practices as per those needs. And it's just for the sake of well-being of your employees, right? Don't keep saying that. Like, don't pay lip service, just do it. And well-being of the employees is an end in itself. But trust me when I say this, when you focus on well-being of the employees, they will reward you many times over with productivity, innovation, and all sorts of things, right? And we have been focusing that too much on individual growth, individual performance. We think all the performance bonuses and RSUs is all incentivized to, matters to productivity, performance appraisals, whatnot, right? And I think we have not focused enough on team performance. We have not focused enough on a sense of community. There's a recent survey about McKinsey where employees said that the number one reason that they're quitting their jobs at workplaces is because they don't feel a sense of belonging, right? And if there's no sense of community, there's no community in the workplace. You cannot possibly feel belonging. There has to be a community, right? And we have to reinforce this sense of community, this sense of belonging.
So you're saying you'd rather have a sense of belonging and a great community and culture inside your organization than a new hoodie with the company logo on? Is that what I'm hearing?
Absolutely.
That's awesome. And I totally appreciate that, right? We have to feel safe. We have to feel empowered to grow and build the company and make it better. And if we live in this state of terror and fear, what do? Right? We regress, we go into little holes, and we do what we can, many times the least we can do to sort of not poke our heads up so we don't get shot, if you will. Right? Unbelievable.
There was this study that I think I mentioned, cited in my book. If you feel stressed and lonely at your workplace, then you're less inclined to make good relationship with other people. And guess what? Like, if you're not making this effort to build relationship, then you are further feeling lonelier and lonelier. So it's a vicious circle, and you have to get out of this vicious circle, feel safe first, so that you can make friends at your workplaces and wherever you are.
So important. One of my favorite interviews for my book, leadership book on driving innovation and change, was David Gardner from the Motley Fool, who's here in the DC area, financial services company, and they work so hard to empower their people and create this safe environment. And lo and behold, they've grown from, literally started in their basement to, I think they have over 1 million paid subscribers now. They started out in an AOL chat room. And one of the key things they do is, one, have a very simple mission. They want to make the world smarter, happier, richer, which is pretty awesome, and a very simple way to bring people back to, hey, I have a new idea. Well, does it answer those 3 needs? Well, let's move on then. But they have something like a 97, 98% retention rate. And they constantly empower. They've created an environment, a safe environment, where you can challenge people in a good way to create better outcomes than in this negative way. A couple more great comments in the chat here I want to put on the screen. From San Francisco, I just sold another copy in San Francisco. Robespierre, a friend of yours?
I think it's a new acquaintance, but so glad. Thank you so much, Robespierre. I hope that I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Since you're based in San Francisco, I can hand deliver the signed copy to you.
Very nice. Janice OReilly, Yogesh is starting a belonging movement to truly bring inclusion and valuing those around you into the marketplace. I'm excited to see where it goes for this new venture, excuse me.
For those, thank you, Janice. For those who don't know Janice is one of the pillars of this book. She was my marketing revisions editor. and she has seen the book in many forms, very early forms, right? So and she was her feedback was critical to shape the book in the form that it is today. Thank you so much, Janice.
Thanks for jumping in there, Janice. Boy, the editors often I would say every time the unsung heroes many times of books because they do so much work behind the scenes. They are the true alpha readers, right, of any book. They're the first ones to read it besides the author, and really can help it come to life and become a thing of beauty, which I know Janice did for you. So that's fantastic. There you go. Robespierre is looking for his hand delivered copy here in a few weeks. And Varun apparently was one of your pre-sale buyers. It looks like he's waiting for a signed copy to show up in the mail from the pre-sale. That's fantastic.
Thank you, Arun. I guess you're moving as we speak. I heard that, right? I'll love to chat with you after that. See how is that going.
That's awesome. Well, we got a bunch of your great stories out there. Digital Belonging available on Amazon today. His new episode on the Creator Community Podcast is available wherever you get podcasts. It's premiered on YouTube this morning. Excuse me. It's available on Apple, Spotify, wherever you consume podcasts. Let's dive into the rapid fire questions here, buddy. Are you ready? Now everyone's going to learn everything there is to know about you, at least the important stuff.
Okay, cool. Ready.
Let's dive in here. And if you have comments or questions as we go, please throw them in the chat or continue to do that. Thanks for jumping in there, everybody. Mm-hmm. Most important question I think I always like to start with, Yogesh, favorite sandwich?
It has to be a tuna sandwich. I love tuna.
Solid choice. Favorite color?
Blue.
I'm sorry?
It's blue.
Blue.
What I'm wearing, it's the cover of the book. It will show up everywhere.
Very nice. Very nice. Favorite or most memorable vacation spot along the way?
Barcelona.
I've heard so many people say that's their favorite place. I've yet to go, but it's on my list. Scariest animal?
Snake. I saw it last week while hiking. I was terrified.
That's awesome. I don't like snakes either. Oh, best cure for a cold. You had some advice for me earlier today. What was that?
Yeah. So I think my Indian friends might know it, but there is a sweet snack called jalebi. It's a round spiral thingy dipped in sugar syrup. It's super sweet. And I heard it twice in the last 3 days that if you eat jalebi with hot milk, it's a short cure for any kind of cold or flu. I had not heard it in my first 40 years of my life, but I just heard it twice.
It sounds like a winner to me.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. Favorite movie?
There's one Hindi movie called Dil Se by Shah Rukh Khan. I saw it a long time ago. And in the new ones, it's Infinity War. It's MCU movie.
Not the new. What was the new movie you just saw? You told me Batman.
Doctor Strange.
Or Doctor Strange.
Madness in Multiverse. Yeah, it's a pretty good movie. Yeah, but Infinity War, I've watched it over and over again. I just love the entrance of Thanos.
That was a good one. Favorite smell?
Favorite smell? Smell of pink roses. So I have many colored roses in my backyard, but it's the pink roses that have the best smell. I don't know why.
Interesting. I never thought about that. Last photo on your phone?
It's my son's. We were hiking yesterday, and he climbed a tree, and he was sitting on a tree. So I clicked his picture.
Nice. Favorite song to sing, Yogesh, with or without an audience?
It's a Hindi song, and it's called "Ay Ajnabi Tu Bhi Kahi Awaaz De Kahin Se," and it's from my favorite movie Dil Se, and it's the protagonist of that movie. He's calling out to his beloved who's lost somewhere. He doesn't know where she is, and he's a radio show host, and he's singing that song over the radio to call out to her. And I just love this song.
Nice. We got a couple more comments in the chat I want to put up here. Congratulations on a successful launch. Great to see the journey from ideation to true product. Anil?
Thank you, Anil.
Another one in here from Huron May. Huron, am I saying that right?
Here
Congratulations
in
on the
May.
launch. Hope your effort will put some extra push into the tectonic shift in building a human-centric tech industry. Well put. Well, great well wishes there. And one more here. All the best. Looking forward to reading it. So, already sold a few copies of your book here today to a few folks. That's fantastic. Let's jump back into the
Thank you.
questions. Uh, Favorite part about being an engineer?
Favorite part of being an engineer to tinker with stuff to just create something new out of nothing.
That's awesome. Innovation, new creation. I love it. What's one thing you own you really need to throw out, buddy?
Hmm. Maybe not throw out, but return it. It's a big air fryer, and I don't eat fried foods anymore, and it's occupying a lot of stuff, like a lot of place in my kitchen. So I need to get rid of
Maybe someone will take that off your hands with a book delivery.
it.
What is your most audacious goal for 2022?
Set up my own tech company. Probably it's way too audacious. It takes much longer than that. But yeah, I would love to start a new company.
What kind of company?
The company will be very well aligned with my mission. So my mission is always going to be the same: building human-centered organizations, elevating dignity for at workplace for all, fostering a sense of belonging. And company's mission is going to be exactly the same, but do it at much. I want to do this like fast, fast, fast. It's just yeah, big changes don't happen overnight, right?
But
Maybe it
do
will
it
happen
do
in
it at
20
scale.
years or whatever, but you have to do it at scale. And that's what I'm hoping for.
That is awesome. What is? Have you ever asked anyone for their autograph? Now that you've signed, a couple hundred copies of your book for the pre-sale buyers,
So sorry, what's the
or
question again?
you're about to sign copies for your pre-sale buyers. Have you ever asked anyone for their autograph?
Never really asked for anyone's autograph because I'm afraid that I might lose the copy or something. But yeah, um, I don't know. I have so many favorite authors, but in fact, I would love not signature, but there is this one of my favorite authors is Liz and Molly. They write together, co-authors. Their new book called No Hard Feelings came out recently. I love that book. I would love a very unique cartoon from Liz on my book.
Liz, are you listening? Come on, let's do this. Another great note in the chat here from looks like a friend. Hearty congratulations, Yogesh, given your insights into this very important topic. I know the book will be a huge hit. Can't wait to get my copy. Love it.
Thank you, Shrikant.
Where did we leave off here? A favorite praise quote for your book?
Favorite. I don't remember it verbatim, but I really like it from Darren Murph. He's the head of remote at GitLab, and he wrote it beautifully. I don't remember it at the top of my head. I can pull it off if you give me a moment.
So many great quotes. It's hard to, I'm sure, pick.
Yeah, so he says, digital belonging will make you want to run through a brick wall. If you have waited for an atmosphere accepting of change for your entire career, this book will empower you to make the most of a historic season. Thank you,
And
Darren.
Darren from GitHub. Incredible. And talk about a difference of workplace environments, right? Earlier, you were talking about safety and the opposite of that, this being terrorized by a manager. And this guy, Darren, is talking about, being inspired to run through a brick wall for your leader because you're so empowered and a passion to be a part of the team. That's awesome. What a great quote. A couple more questions here. We'll wrap it up. Yogesh, most unique or memorable moment in your writing journey. What stands out to you about this whole thing?
Um, I think the most unique thing was we ran this Indiegogo campaign,
The pre-sale.
and yeah, for the to raise funds for the book. I had no idea that something like this could work. I had just barely written what we called a poor first draft of the book. And why poor? I was not trying to write a poor draft. It's just the way how it goes, right? You write something, it is almost terrible, right?
Never has a first draft been turned into a book.
Exactly, right? And I looked at this draft, and only I had seen it, and I still had to go out in the world and ask for support, ask people to support me in this journey, and ask them to buy my book. And I had no hopes, but there's so much goodness in the world, and that's why it's so exciting. There were more than 150 copies of the book that were sold, 105 backers, and we raised $7,000. Right, that was unbelievable. I just could not believe when we finished this campaign. And some of the backers are in this call right now, including the superfan.
I mean, what did that feel like to get literally a couple hundred people to come in and buy your book with just a manuscript, really an idea, a rough draft manuscript? That's pretty amazing. How did that feel for you?
I'm filled with so much gratitude and humility. Um, One thing I keep saying is that even though the name on the book is mine, book cover is mine, but really uh, the content of the book itself, the fact that it came to life, there were so many people in the background who helped me. I, if I was sitting all alone in my room and writing the book, it would never be uh, what it is today, right? So I'm just so thankful to everyone.
Right? Not just the pre-sale buyers, but all the people that contributed and offered their insights and knowledge and interviews. I mean, just incredible. Another a nice note of the chat here. This person, I guess, isn't logged in or something, but congratulations, all the best to you and your journey as an author and a speaker. Very nice. Thank you for that comment.
Thank you.
Two more questions and we'll wrap this up. What would you say to those considering writing a book, Yogesh?
Never write alone. Join a community, and if you really want to experience what it is to write in a community, I would highly recommend the New Degree Press. uh, for one thing, you will get a chance to be on John's show one day, hopefully. But really, it's uh, when you join New Degree Press, you are met with not only just a cohort of other authors who will support you in journey, and you will meet so many people, so many contacts. So if you have to research for your book, you can rely on your own to get your contacts, or you can rely on a community of other authors, literally hundreds of them, who can help you, who are more than willing to help you out. Then author coaches every step of the way. You feel as if you're not writing the book for the first time, and all that knowledge is so important, right? We always say in New Degree Press, in Creator Institute, work as a second time author, write as a second time author, market as a second time author. And I think that is so important for the success of the book. Right? Book writing is not just about book writing, it's about getting the book out there, your message out there in front of people. And it's much harder than it looks. And you will need support of the community, right? So reach out to John, reach out to Professor Eric Quester. You can look him up for LinkedIn. If you're looking to learn more, I'm happy to get on a call with you, and direct you to the right folks.
What a great way to frame it. Couldn't have said it any better myself. Creator Institute is the manuscript coaching side of the house, if you will. The second stage is going through the publisher. New Degree Press is the organization here. Thank you for sharing those thoughts, Yogesh. And really, I mean, it is such a collective journey, a community-driven journey in so many ways. And I will tell you, after I wrote my book, I never read acknowledgments in a book before. And now I often do, because I'm curious, who are they thanking and what are they thanking them for? And the list is never short, right? It's always a number of names on there. And certainly it sounds like you had that experience.
Absolutely.
Last question. Describe your writing journey in 5 words, buddy. What do you got?
It was incredibly fulfilling journey.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm glad you left terrifying out. That was good. Unbelievable. Yogesh, such an incredible story. In a day and age where we're living more and more of a digital life, feeling more and more disconnected, you're trying to completely buck that trend and say, hey, we need to flip this thing on its head and make sure there is connection across our organizations, across our communities. And when we get that right, things are so much better. We deliver, people are happy at work, they do more innovation, they drive better results, and ultimately create better organizations. And we've got so many examples of that across the world that are doing it right, and unfortunately many that are doing it wrong. And here you are trying to fix that for so many out there, elevating dignity in the workplace. I love that. As I said, Yogesh, his book is out today on Amazon. Go out and buy it on Amazon or wherever you buy books online. His podcast is out there. Season 4, episode 2 is available on YouTube or wherever you consume your podcasts out there. And if you want to check out season 4, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel or Apple. It's available and started last week and will continue into this week and many more to come. 13 episodes in season 4. Yogesh, what did we miss? Did we get to everything, buddy? Now everyone knows everything there is to know about you, but is there something we missed? I'm just asking. I don't know.
I just want to say something that I couldn't write in the book as the ending. I love this in the MCU movies, right? The way that they will do it after the post-credit scene. I want to say digital belonging will return.
Take 2. Is that what I'm hearing? Book 2? There's a
In
sequel?
some form or shape.
I love it. I love it. Well, go out and get Yogesh's book right now, Digital Belonging. As I said, available anywhere. Go out and check out his podcast that premiered this morning on YouTube. Yogesh, if you could stick around for one more minute. But I want to say thanks to everyone who listened in today and jumped in on the comments. Really appreciate it. And go out and get a copy of Yogesh's book, write a review, and he'll send you a signed copy for free or hand deliver it to his friends in the San Francisco Bay Area. But thanks for joining another episode of Meet the Author Live. We'll have several more this week. So please join us. Same place, same channel, New Degree Press, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. But thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a great day. Yogesh, awesome to see you. Thanks for jumping on.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Take care.